he gets portrayed as this dark figure who... Go to the videotape. The prosecution played a tape of the accused...
80 or 100 million people will watch for a national championship. That's what we should see. These guys are so dumb in college football, it's ridiculous.
Bill Kramer, great job. You too, Bob Gelb. We'll see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Howie coming up. Enjoy on the fan.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Mission for New York Knicks basketball.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN, New York.
8:06 on the fan. Howie Rose with you until 10 tonight. And then it's Coleman, who will get you up to Steve Summers. Now, in about 20 minutes, we'll say hi to a guy who should be in the Hall of Fame and perhaps will be one day. And I'm not, defending gambling in baseball or whatever he is admitting even privately to having done. But I just can't get past 4,256 hits. And I've been saying that ever since...
Transporting a cadaver without the proper permits, Jesus. Good luck finding a Manny Torres without a license in the New York City jail system, Jesus.
We'll be fine. Your radio sounds fine in the morning. You're listening to Imus in the morning. John Miller is the Deputy Police Commissioner for Public Information. He's been trying to track down Manny Torres, my limo driver, who was arrested this morning. What have you found out, John?
At the time and place of occurrence, the alleged perpetrator took off at a high rate of speed. They stopped him halfway through the Queens Midtown Tunnel. They gave him a breathalyzer test, but he blew an acceptable number.
So what you're telling me?
If I drove you, I'd have a couple of pops before work every day, too.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Offered to the senior senator from the state of Massachusetts, the Honorable Edward M. Kennedy. Thank you very much for this unprecedented consideration. I am deeply appreciative. Let me begin by saying to my Bay State constituents, thank you. In your wisdom, you opted to counter the prevailing angry mood in our nation and hold on to your vision of a better future by rejecting the siren call for an ill-advised return to the past that seduced so many of our fellow Americans. And now, though some might find this startling, let me add a heartfelt thank you to an individual to whom I owe the deepest debt of gratitude, a man without whom I might very well not be making this statement to you today. Yes, Don Imus, it was your endorsement in the closing hours of my campaign that sealed victory for me, that assured I would triumph in what, until that moment, had been the closest, most difficult campaign of my public service career. I-Man, if I may call you I-Man, I am eternally indebted to you and your exemplary radio program. We stand, you and I, as an island of hope in this great national moment of change. Change that I fear portends a terrible path ahead of line item vetoes, balanced budgets, youngsters with heads bowed in prayer, and all the rest of the sinister provisions of the Republicans' contract for America. I-Man, I know that we, you and I, have had some bumpy relations in years gone by. The roads we shared often diverged. I know that I was frequently a target of joshing, barbs, and the occasional injudicious jest, in my view. Some of these I deserved. Some of these I did not. However, my shoulders are broad. I know, so is my abdomen. Beat you to it, I-Man. And how good that we are now able to chuckle together at our foibles. You, the superstar radio host, me, the venerable servant of the people. This is a day, a moment, that has been far too long in arriving. So let me just ask, could you hear me, I-Man?
Well, yes, Senator, I can hear you fine.
Good. Then hear this. I say, let the word go forth from this time and place that any and all differences that existed between us in times past have now left there, relegated to a former day. And we look straight ahead, you and I, to a new era of accommodation, cooperation, and may I say it, yes, affection. And I only hope I'm not making you feel uncomfortable.
No.
The past is past. Old animosities are buried. The Imus Ted Kennedy animosity is forgotten.
And I can only say I agree, Senator.
But please, Teddy, just call me Teddy.
All right, fine, Teddy. Bygones are bygones.
Indeed they are. It's all of another time.
It's pretty much over with.
I'd say the slate is clean.
What'd you say, Senator? It's all water under the bridge?
Yes, I guess now I would say that it's all water under the... You miserable, stinking, f***ing asshole.
And so now, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. My fellow citizens of the world, ask not what America will do for you, but what together we can do for the freedom of man.
Imus in the morning.
Hey, Papa, tell me again. Why are we waiting on this line for 5 hours?
We're going to get Imus to sign our copies of God's Other Son, Beavis.
How come?
Well, it's very special to have a novel that has the author's autograph inside the front cover.
Yeah. I bet it's worth something, too. Let's sell it and, buy some M80s and nachos and stuff.
We're not going to sell it, Beavis. It's like a family Bible. You keep it in the family, hand it down from generation to generation.
Let's trade them then. You know, like that debt deal you're always talking about.
That's not about trading books, Beavis. It's about fair trade with other nations.
You don't think other nations would want a copy of God's Other Son?
Well, I'll put it this way, Beavis. I'm not sure what they think about it in the Holy Land.
Yeah, like the Pope. I bet they could, get a quote from him to put on the book jacket. This book, really sucks.
I don't think so, Beavis. I wonder if he's here.
Imus? The Pope?
No, Teddy Kennedy. He's always either in Boston or Washington. I wonder if he's online somewhere.
Why would he want a signed copy of God's Other Son?
I would imagine he relates to the character of Billy Saul Hargis, a charismatic, controversial individual.
Does he think he can walk on water, too?
No, but I believe he thought he could drive on it.
Imus in the morning news time. Well, it's not news anymore, but it's 32 minutes past the hour. The Imus in the morning book signing tour is sponsored by Eagle Vision.
Imus in the morning. 2020 sports.
A new sports hero arrives in a cloud of lukewarm castrol dust. Good morning, I'm Dale Arnold, 2020 Sports.
Pretty good, Liz.
There is a rose in Spanish Harlem.
Imus in the morning.
The late General George S. Patton, Jr.
At ease. Good morning, man. Welcome. Seminar, term, mid-election.
Mr. Morning Mandatory Prayer is John Cardinal O'Connor. Good morning, Your Eminence.
Good morning, God bless. Understand your chauffeur was arrested this morning, Mr. Mark.
Yes, he was.
What, for transporting a cadaver without the proper permits, be Jesus? Good luck finding a Manny Torres without a license in the New York City jail system, be Jesus.
We'll be fine.
Your radio sounds fun in the morning. You're listening to Imus in the morning.
John Miller is the Deputy Police Commissioner for Public Information. He's been trying to track down Manny Torres, my limo driver, who was arrested this morning. What have you found out, John?
At the time and place of occurrence, the alleged perpetrator took off at a high rate of speed. They stopped him halfway through the Queens Midtown Tunnel. They gave him a breathalyzer test, but he blew an acceptable number.
So what you're telling
If I drove you, I'd have a couple of pops before work every day, too.
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Slims or the garden?
I'm sure it's a cut of both.
Sure, it's both.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
I'm going to be a little tough with the Cowboy fans who became Cowboy fans when they started winning. So we're all going to be hard on you. We probably shouldn't be as hard as we are. All right, good call there. We'll see you after the 5 o'clock update. After me.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
And let me just say this to Mary Matlin and James Carville and Paul Bagala and Bennett Zier and everybody else in Washington. Don't call us. We don't want to have dinner with you. We don't want to go to the Palm. The Palm can't suck enough. Why would anybody go to the Palm?
To commit suicide.
Why, because your cholesterol's not quite high enough? You want to have another big piece of red meat?
To meet an elderly queer?
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
So, Bernard, we're all sitting there, and there's this elderly homosexual at the bar, What was he doing?
Making googly eyes at me. I figured this nice old guy.
Must have been a blind elderly homosexual.
Then I go into the bathroom, and he starts talking to me, and he starts trying to pick me up in the bathroom. I swear to God.
What did he say to you?
It reminded me of when I got the job with you.
In the morning on the fan, Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
WFAN 2020 Sports.
Good afternoon to 5 o'clock. This is John Minko.
All right, good job out of Bob and Dole. Mike and I will see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock. By the way, Mike, Alabama's opponents' records this year, 39 and 49 in college football. See you tomorrow.
Mike and the Mad Dog, Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
So you're not elitist in the I'm Mr. Morning mandatory prayer is John Cardinal O'Connor. Good morning, Your Eminence.
Good morning to God bless. Understand your chauffeur was arrested this morning, Mr. Lamar.
Yes, he was.
What, for transporting a cadaver without the proper permits, be Jesus? Good luck finding a Manny Torres without a license in the New York City jail system, be Jesus.
We'll be fine.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the Morning.
John Miller is the Deputy Police Commissioner for Public Information. He's been trying to track down Manny Torres, my limo driver, who was arrested this morning. What have you found out, John?
At the time and place of occurrence, the alleged perpetrator took off at a high rate of speed. They stopped him halfway through the Queens Midtown Tunnel. They gave him a breathalyzer test, but he blew an acceptable number.
So what you're telling
If
me...
I drove you, I'd have a couple of pops before work every day, too.
In the morning on the fan, Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Listen tomorrow for our WFAN Box Office Blitz.
I'm Bill Daughtry with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the radio home of Howie Rose and the flagship station for New York Knicks basketball.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
6:06, and what do you say? Howie Rose with you on the fan until 9 o'clock tonight, affording us mucho time to yak things up at 718-937. 6666, and we will do so, as well as have a couple of other things for you between now and 9. Did you just hear that bit at the end of Mike and the Mad Dog with Chris's mom, Molly Russo? I even said to Chris, I came in here as soon as it was over, I said, now explain to me how the heck Queen Elizabeth can get
50 degrees in Central Park. And that's what's happening. I'm Bill Daughtry with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the flagship station for New York Knicks basketball.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
8:06 on the fan. Howie Rose with you until 9, then Susan Waldman to get you into the Knicks and the Lakers. From the Great Western Forum in L.A., Knicks will be in Oakland tomorrow night to play the Golden State Warriors as they complete the California road swing before coming home on Saturday night against the Atlanta Hawks. And of course, we'll have all those games for you right here on the fan. 718-937-6666, the phone number. Larry Boa will join us at about...
All right, here now, Media Watch, Here's the reporter who, in a CBS special Friday evening, is supposedly going to neatly cap for us once and for all the Kennedy assassination. Then leave the studio, step aboard a flying saucer, and set course for f***ing Pluto. And with another media czar, Ed Rollins, as his co-pilot, it strikes me. Yeah. What's up with this particular political savant? Well, Tourette syndrome, perhaps? I'd like to trust this moron with a couple of nuclear secrets or so, wouldn't you? Well. And a side note, by the way, to the embattled governor-elect of New Jersey, Christy Whitman. Next time you're fence mending in a black folks church and they're all clapping their hands, try sitting on yours. Because when you're 1-3, when everybody else is 2-4, you look stupid. Not to say that there's not a certain run DNC in Ms. Whitman's future. No. That's DNC, as in the Democratic National Committee, running her out of office before she ever has a chance to get sworn in. Thanks to Ed Rollins, the loosest cannon on the pitching deck of the GOP. Now, finally, though I understand I may be out of sync with mainstream America, I feel as though I am nearly choking on peanuts.
nemesis. What? In a strict journalistic sense, of course. Oh. Between the babble of the boppets and the endless drone of Joey, Amy, and Mary Jo, I'm going to update the old biblical admonition about severing offending body parts and cut my own off. Anything to help stop the madness. In fact, I'll close by proposing a new maxim of journalism. To wit, no more shall we regale you with someone's genitalia. For Media Watch, this is Walter Cronkite. Thank you, and good night.
I was driving home early Sunday morning through Bakersfield, listening to gospel music on the colored radio station. And the preacher said, you know, you always have the Lord by your side. And I was so pleased to be informed of this that I ran 20 red lights in his honor. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. I had an arrangement to meet a girl, and I was kind of late. And I thought, by the time I got there, she'd be off the nearest truck driver she could find. Much to my surprise, there she was, sitting in the corner, a little bleary, worse for wear and tear, with the girl, far away eyes. So if you're down on your luck and you can't harmonize, find a girl with far away eyes. And if you're downright disgusted and life ain't worth a dime, get a girl with far away eyes. Well, well, the preacher came right on saying that all I had to do was send $10 to the Church of the Sacred Bleeding Heart of Jesus, located somewhere in Los Angeles, California. And next week they'd say my prayer on the radio, and all my dreams would come true. So I did. Next week, I got a prayer for the girl. Well, you know what kind of eyes she got. So if you're down on your luck, I know you're feeling fine. Find a girl with far away eyes. And if you're downright disgusted and life ain't worth a dime, get a girl with far away eyes. So if you're down on your luck, I know you're feeling tonight. Get a girl with far away
And again, congratulations to Don Imus for winning the Marconi Award for the network's syndicated Personality of the Year. The I-Man with an emotional thank you speech.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Very special moment for the aging radio veteran.
But we're all
why do I have to be characterized as aging? We're all aging.
Certainly. From the
You're
moment
aging.
before.
You from
aging.
day one we're aging.
Sure.
You're aging prematurely. Yeah, and I wish you'd stop aging.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
On baseball note, the Baltimore Orioles have hired a new manager, Phil Regan, who's been the Indians pitching coach. Although he has no major league managerial experience, he did manage in South America for a number of years.
Well, that's what he managed. Hey, Pancho, take second base.
In the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Speeds on the Tappan Zee Bridge.
Send this out to Fred and everybody out there in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Jim Ed.
I don't wanna have to marry you. I don't wanna have to say I do. I want our love to be free. The way God meant love to be. I don't wanna have to marry you. Just because it'd be the thing to do. I want our marriage to be strong. Something we can build upon. Every time I want you more than I did the time before. Can you stay with me for a while? But I want the fire still burning bright, darling, on our wedding night. Let's wait till we walk down the aisle. I don't wanna have to marry you. I don't wanna have to say I do. I want our love to be free. The way God meant love to be. Don't say you have to go now that I want you so. I don't want to be alone. The temptation is strong, but it's all so wrong. Please stop and take me home. I don't wanna have to marry you. I don't wanna have to say I do. I want our love to be free. The way God meant love to be. I want our love to be free. The way God meant love to be.
Jim Ed Brown, Helen Cornelius with a Fred Imus tune.
Not too many years ago, when dreams weren't coming true, I'd reach for inspiration. Sometimes it would be you. I'd hear you on the radio. I sure didn't like your sound. It's good to know there's still a few country boys around. I'm a in the morning.
All right, let's all sing together now.
I
you call your lover boy.
Come here, lover boy.
And if he doesn't answer,
Oh, lover boy.
and if he still doesn't answer,
I simply say, Linus in the morning.
Billy, we're going to do sports. I mean, just hang out here.
Oh, baby.
We like you to kind of weave you in the fabric of the program.
Park Lyle at 2 minutes before 8 o'clock. I'll be with you for another hour right up until 9. We'll get back to the phones in the next hour at 718-937-6666. But when we get back, we'll get the latest bit of hyperbole about Ruben Rivera. Is he the next Yankee superstar? Well, the guy managing him in Peoria in the Arizona Fall League sure seems to think so. He's the dude, John Stearns. And he's coming up right after the update with Bill Daughtry. Come on back.
Sports Radio 66. The Fan, WFAN.
That's what's happening. I'm Bill Daughtry with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the flagship station for New York Knicks basketball.
Sports Radio 66. The Fan, WFAN, New York.
5 minutes after 8, Howie Rose with you for another hour, right up until 9 o'clock. We'll get back to the phones in a little bit at 718-937-6666. Susan Waltman just had a great line. She walks in here after listening to Sparky Lyle. She says to me, yeah, you look at Sparky, you see 3 Yankee pennants in a row. I look at him, I see Danny Cater. Well, that's the difference between growing up here and growing up in Boston. Dan, commensurate with the amount of money that they make, and unfortunately, in some situations, you don't see that. And Chris Webber's got a tremendous career ahead of him. He's already had a Rookie of the Year award in the NBA, but until proven otherwise, he'll be best remembered for calling a timeout that he didn't have. Our thanks to Sweetie Murdy and Lula Shepard. Bill's got the update. Then comes Susan. I'm Howie Rose. See you tomorrow night at 9. Have a good night.
Radio 66. The Fan, WFAN.
What do you want for...
I don't care if it rains or freezes, long as I got my classic Jesus riding on the dashboard of my truck.
Yes.
I can go 100 miles an hour, long as I got the almighty power stuck up there with my pair of fuzzy dials.
Yes, still the book.
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Can I get an amen?
Hi, friends. It's the Right Reverend Dr. Billy Saul Hargis, God's other son, here this morning basically to castigate you heathen, no-good, bottom-feeding fugitives from the food chain. And you know why? Because after all I've done for all of you low these many years, you continue to embarrass and humiliate me, to taunt me and flaunt me, to kick my raggedy reverend ass every damn opportunity you get. And the latest may be the worst yet, friends. You buy my damn book, second greatest story ever told by mortal man, and you get me on the bestseller list, the Wall Street Journal, Publishers Weekly, the New York Times, below every kind of lame damn author on the planet. Funk that. Dr. Hargis says, funk that. Jesus says, funk that. We are not interested, my brother and me, in getting on any list in which we're subordinate to some waste of trees written by Danielle Steele, wearing her penis obsession on her sleeve. And just one slot above a tome based on that compelling theme all America wants to know more about, the philosophical abstractions of Australian Aborigines. Excuse me, but funk that. And the mutant pygmy you rode in on. Funk that. I'm at number 14 on a 15-place list. Get out of here. You are once again, friends, in jeopardy of spurning a son of Gloucester. I could have you people fried. But, friends, it's not too late to turn this situation around. It's not too late for you to make it up to me and treat me with the deference I deserve and knock me about 7 pegs up that list of false prophets. How can you do that, I hear you asking, friends? With an offer fashioned and published in paradise, you celestial sponges. Now, anybody could extend to you a 2-for-1 offer, 2 books for the price of 1 to jack this sucker up. Ain't one thing unique about that. That's why we're now prepared to present to you people who absolutely don't deserve this kind of benevolence, Dr. Hargis's 2-for-2 offer. Yes, friends, 2 books for the price of 2 books. No, you don't have to thank me now. I'm feeling too humble. You can write or thank me some slobbery note of heartfelt worship, praise, and thanksgiving at a later date. So for those among you who have not yet purchased God's other son, well, in the first place, what's the matter with you? Are you in an iron lug or something? Go to the damn store and buy two, a primary and a backup. It's just common sense. And for those of you who have purchased God's other son, highball that boxcar butt of yours back to the bookstore and buy another copy in order to end Dr. Hargis' shame and degradation. And when you get there, just say, either give me the book or a hemlock cup, anything to make the bastard just shut up. Or can I get an amen on that now?
You seen these ads for CK1, the new fragrance from Calvin Klein?
Yes.
TV, magazines, big publicity blitz featuring a scary assortment of Generation X pant loads, the most hideous-looking aberrations of nature ever assembled. I look at them and I ask myself, do I really want to smell like these people? I tell you, man, not only does this point to the degeneration of society as we know it, but it's one of the signs indicating that the end is near. The other one is that your book is on the New York Times bestseller list. Armageddon is just around the corner, folks. Prepare to meet thy maker. You know, Fats, after I heard you crowing for 5 hours the other day about how you finally made it to the literary big time, I looked in my family Bible under Revelations. Check this out. And I wept much because no man was found worthy to open and read the book, neither to look thereon. But then they saw his face, and his name was on their T-shirts, jackets, and hats. And I beheld when he had opened the book, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth, and the moon became as blood. Hey, you don't gotta be Nostradamus to know that something's going on here. I tell you, I'm looking around for flaming lions and locusts the size of pelicans. Armageddon notwithstanding, the thing that's really frightening is that commercial success is almost always misconstrued as evidence of talent.
Well,
I'm afraid that since you happen to make the same list as Cormac McCarthy, not only are you going to think that you're a peer of his, but those who should know better are going to believe it too. You can't fit your headphones over your melon now. I shudder to think of the day when you get the call from those goofballs at the Pulitzer.
Shut up.
How long do you start believing you're the next Dickens? Well, little Dickens. I mean, you got an ego that could go on tour as the main attraction in a sideshow. Iconoclast icon, radio Hall of Famer, best-selling author. Pretty soon you'll think you can do anything. You'll think you can fly. Well, that's nothing new. There are a few years there during the 70s and 80s when you thought you could do that, but, now you're sober. Seriously, Imus, I wish you only the best. You deserve the accolades. You're a genius. Why, I couldn't be any happier than if you were to become the Ernest Hemingway of the 90s. You still have that big gun of yours, don't you?
it's not a shotgun.
That's okay. A Magnum will do just fine.
Boom, 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 boom. Gonna shoot you right down. Right off of your feet. Take you home with me. Put you in my house. Boom, boom, boom.
I'm a in the morning.
Jim and Mary
Those little Oriental dudes have, like, atom bombs in their yin-yangs.
You dumbass. It's not yin-yang, it's Pyongyang.
They have atom bombs in their poontangs.
You're such a weed. Pyongyang. It's like a city in North Korea.
Oh.
They won't let the UN look at their Yongbyon nuclear reactor.
If I were them, I wouldn't let the UN look at my Yongbyon either.
Shut up. Everybody is like all mad at President Clinton and stuff because he won't go over there and make them show everybody what they have.
But I bet he'd show them what he has.
Cut it out, Beavis.
Yeah. Hey, little Korean dude, show me your yin-yang and I'll show you my Yongbyon.
Is that what they mean by warhead?
Yeah.
Hey, Korean dudes, you have to let everybody know you're not making atom bombs, or else the UN will, like, cut off your trade.
Yeah, that would suck. But look at it this way. It's better than getting your Yongbyon cut off. Yeah.
It was a teenage wedding and the old folks wished him well. You could see that Pierre did truly love the mademoiselle. And now the young monsieur and madame have rung the chapel bell. C'est la vie, say the old folks. It goes to show you never can tell. I must in the morning.
Following is a paid political announcement. Hello, this is Ted Kennedy. Now that I have effectively already won my difficult campaign for re-election, I would like to apologize for some of the tactics my staff and I employed to ensure that I would continue to represent you, my fellow Bay Staters, in the United States Senate. While there are many strategies for which I should do penance, let me confine my remarks today to my habit of constantly invoking the memories of my brothers, John and Bobby, every time anybody mentioned the issues of crime or gun control. In retrospect, employing the memory of dead people from my past is not all that good an idea. Sort of like walking out onto the political stage wearing a sandwich board that says, brought to you by the Ajax Driving School, as the creature from the Black Lagoon hovers at your shoulder, dripping kelp and holding a briefcase. Be that as it may, clearly my strategies worked. Mitt Romney, my challenger, didn't lay a glove on me, bloody or otherwise. Even though in our last debate I sounded like a hooked on phonics mercy case, I did manage to remain on my feet for an entire hour, the longest I can ever recall standing unassisted without leaning on a lamppost or Chris Dodd. Yes, a personal best. The fact that I have now locked up my re-election at 20 points ahead of my challenger says less about me than it does about him. For clearly, my day is done. My final legislator ticket was punched many years ago. How in the name of all that is holy, then, could I defeat Mitt Romney? Let me say this about that. If they refer to Vice President Gore as Stickman, then they refer to Mitt Romney as Chalk Outline Man. When you look into those eyes, all you see is the deep space probe, Viking 2, leaving our galaxy. Oh, to be sure, I know. When you look into my eyes, you see Bill Wilson. And I would like to address that, the problem of my physical appearance. Why am I overweight? And why does my face look as though I had been bobbing for fried shrimp? The answer is obvious. I drank Ireland. I chased every strumpet under the age of 25 I could find from Hyannis to Key West. And I had to sit through those Anita Hill, Clarence Thomas hearings, more nervous than Marion Barry carrying a case of Colt 45 out of a burning liquor store. You go through those ordeals and see what you look like at age 62. While we have not yet voted, I say with complete certainty it is over. I have purchased this time today to formally announce my declaration of victory and to give you my heartfelt thanks. And so, let the word go forth from this time and place that those detractors who were so confident that this race would produce some fundamental shift, some kind of great sea change, was that an ocean reference? Yeah. It was, wasn't it? Yes, here we go.
It brings a tear into my eyes when I begin to realize
are you going to explain it this time? Step 1, duck. Step 2, blame your stupid office copier. Explain that if you make more than 20 sets of copies, you have to empty the sorter and refeed the originals, which takes forever. Step 3, promise you'll rush to the Meta New York branch and get a Meta DC 6090 with a universal document handler and stacker tray, so you'll never be late again. Step 4, point out that your spouse has no right to be mad. No other copier offers these features, and only Meta offers them now. On second thought, don't. Step 5. Explain that since they'll give your company a free fax machine with the Meta DC 6090, you may get a prodigious raise, which will buy shiny gifts for your beloved. Step 6. For once, do what you promised. Go to the Meta New York branch at 149 West 51st Street or call 1-800-4NY-MITA. Well, you can't go home and grovel every night, can you? The Meta New York branch. Fast service for a fast town.
You know, I can't remember the last time my banker came up with a good idea to help my business. But how could he? He doesn't begin to understand what our company's all about. He hasn't a clue about our competition and how we stack up. And what we need to grow? Forget it. Where can I get a banker who's responsive, who's proactive, who shows us ways to run our business smarter and grow faster?
We'll tell you where. At United Jersey. A bank that works hard to help your business succeed. You'll deal with a knowledgeable banker who'll take the time to really understand your company and what makes it unique. Then come up with creative ideas to help you solve problems and seize opportunities. It's what a bank's supposed to do. So if your bank isn't helping you meet today's challenges, meet with our bank, United Jersey, the fast-moving bank. Members FDIC, equal opportunity lenders.
This message is being recorded from a car just about to enter the Lincoln Tunnel. I'm talking on my cellular phone. Well, it's not just any cellular phone, a cellular phone with Cellular One service. And that's an important distinction. Okay. Adjust lights, stay in lane, and here we go. The first radio commercial ever recorded on a cellular phone from inside the Lincoln Tunnel. You didn't notice any difference as we entered there, did you? It's amazing but true. That's because Cellular One has made it possible for you to use their service inside the Lincoln Tunnel. So you won't have to cut your conversation short or get interrupted because now cellular phones with Cellular One service work in the Lincoln Tunnel. Isn't that extraordinary? Hey, look, there's that sign. It says we are now crossing the line between New York and New Jersey.
Cellular One, with the largest local calling area and now service in the Lincoln Tunnel. For the dealer nearest you, call 1-800-IMAGINE.
An outpost on the edge of the galaxy is the gateway to a brave new frontier. Now, an intrepid crew embarks on an incredible mission. Prepare to board the ultimate warship. Prepare to experience unforgettable adventure. Prepare to discover the brave new frontier. Star Trek Deep Space Nine. A Cardassian trap.
Seems we tripped some kind of security program.
I can't override it. Triggers a countdown toward destruction.
If you do not regain control within 2 hours,
The station will be destroyed. But the more the crew tries to escape,
We're completely cut off from the rest of the station.
the closer they come to oblivion.
We got about 10 minutes before the main reactor core overloads and destroys the station.
On an all-new Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
tonight at 8, followed by Star Trek The Next Generation, only on Channel 11. All right, here's my little friend Eileen Marchese Cohen with the 9X Mobile Fan Highway Patrol. Good morning, Mrs. Cohen.
Good morning, Mr. Imus.
How's little baby Cohen?
Baby's just fine, very active.
Little baby be coming out around January 10, 11, 12, something like that,
Something
right?
like that. Between like the 8th and the 10th, hopefully.
I'm too tired to talk to the baby this morning,
That's
but I will be talking to the baby tomorrow.
Baby's up all night anyway.
Well, this deal where Eileen puts her headphones on her tummy and I talk to the baby. It's great. So far, we would advise the baby to, as soon as it gets out of there, to put herself up for adoption.
Oh. That's probably why it's kicking me all night. It's probably having nightmares.
You know what would be great for your little baby?
What?
A Baby Fred denim work shirt.
Oh, I know.
With
Definitely.
that turquoise buffalo on it. How bad is that?
I have to get one.
Hey, you know, Deidre ran the marathon in her turquoise buffalo T-shirt, actually tank top that Fred had made for her.
Wow.
Which would make me one. They made her 6 of them. Sure. Dork. Idiot. My brother. Schmuck.
Well, that's nice.
So-
Probably comfortable for her.
I'm Imus in the morning, the 6 minutes silly hour, talking with Eileen about her baby Cohen, who will be born here almost probably on Fred's birthday. Boy, man, how cosmic would that be?
That would
Beautiful.
just be wild.
Beautiful. Little baby Cohen and Fred Imus with identical birthdays.
Oh, my Sharing God. A birthday with Uncle Fred.
So Deirdre, we're talking about Deirdre, who ran the marathon 3:32:09, and I was going to go on about this all morning, but I mean, that's a mind-boggling accomplishment. Last year she ran it in 4:24. It's unbelievable. And this year to cut nearly an hour off. It's unbelievable. 3:32:09, and of course if you'd have listened.
You better not get her mad, boy. She can chase you down.
Darn right.
You've been running.
Over you, baby. These boots are made for walking. I don't make her mad. Yeah. Although she says I act like an infant. Emotionally, she says I should have the emotional makeup of a child. That's true. Yeah. Or about an 11-year-old. She's got you read perfectly. Petulant little spoiled brat, and she's correct. No, I recognize that. I know how I am. And very patient. I don't try to be anything I'm not. No. I understand what the deal is. Just a turd. A turd? Yeah. Is that what we learn in our little Jesus class? That's what you are. No, but I mean, was that what Jesus would have said? I mean, you're a turd? I don't think so. He probably said you're poo-poo. But he would have been right, too. Yeah. At any rate, we're going to talk with Bob Dole here in about 15 minutes and see what up with the Bobster. Yeah. One of the truly great Americans in the history of this country.
You've seen his slick commercials. Our senator calling himself...
After himself, the Moynihan Building? And do you know that right now, the special interest PACs give Moynihan's campaign $15,000 a week? No wonder he cares more about Washington than New York. I'm Bernadette Castro. I'll fight to raise New York up, not tear it apart by dividing New Yorkers against each other. Together, we can make a difference.
It's what you'd call a fixer-upper.
It has real charm.
Oh, it has leaky pipes.
And loads of potential, especially if we took out that one wall.
And it needs painting.
I can fix the roof, the floor, the electricity. Maybe not.
I married a fixer-upper. Now I moved into one.
Oh, sure, there are a few problems, but we can handle it.
One problem is we're not exactly fixed for cash.
Even if you don't have a lot of equity in your home yet, Marine Midland Bank has a home equity solution for you. New Marine Express. A great way to get the money you need to fix up your home, pay off your charge cards, or whatever you like. With rates on the rise, now's the best time to do it. And with Marine Express approval, you'll have your money in as little as 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be needing some new tools.
He is not touching that fuse box.
New Marine Express, just one of the many home equity solutions from Marine Midland. Banking for the real world. Stop by or call 1-800-9-MARINE. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Just published the biggest sex survey in 50 years, and you can find out the astounding results on the next Donahue. What kind of sex do Americans enjoy most? Who has sex more often, married people or single ones? Don't be so sure you know the answer. How many married men cheat? How many married men wish they were cheating? You'll be surprised when we reveal the secrets of the biggest sex survey in 50 years. Next Donahue.
Today at 4, only on WNBC 4 New York. Then at 5.
I'm Sue Simmons. She's been called Hollywood's baddest bad girl. Now, Shannon Doherty stars in a new epic drama, and she joins us live to talk about it. Also, he had his own late-night talk show and was a pioneer in the game show industry. Hall of Fame inductee Merv Griffin stops by to tell about his latest honor. Plus, all this month, lose 10 pounds with Live at 5. Meet cover girl Kathy Ireland and get some health tips. And an exercise regimen fit for a supermodel. Then they're ugly and embarrassing. They're stretch marks, and we're going to tell you how to get rid of them tonight on Live at 5.
Well, I'm here with Computer Genius PC Modem for CompUSA. And Bob, what should people remember when they're putting together a home office? Never mistake whiteout for coffee creamer. Good advice. They'll also need a store with the biggest selection of computers at low prices. You know, someone just told me that store is CompUSA. Oh, yeah? Who? This guy here with a big smile and lots of charm.
CompUSA has 0% interest and no payments for 6 months with no minimum purchase. So get the Paradox 5.0 upgrade for Windows from Borland. It's a full-featured relational database that's easy to use with online coaches that help you learn while you're working. It even comes with free Sidekick software and Paradox Video direct from Borland. And the Borland Paradox 5.0 upgrade is at CompUSA for just $99.99 after $30 mail-in rebate.
How about that? Boy, that's 10 pounds of copy in a 5-pound bag. Yeah, but with 0% interest, CompUSA is the computer superstar. Right. And, Bob, any other tips when you're putting together a home office? Well, some things you can write off and some things you can't. What can't you write off? A turkey thermometer.
Offer expires 11/13/94, subject to approval. If not paid in full within 6 months of purchase, finance charges assessed from purchase date. Variable APR of 21.55%. Its rate $31.94. 50 cents minimum finance charge may apply. Call 1-800-CompUSA.
I am Imus in the morning, and this is WFAN in New York.
What?
F! You sound like Jennifer Capriati.
F-N. Have you listened to the tape yet of God's Other Son?
Yes, I have begun that. Hi, man. It's very interesting.
What do you think, actually? I'm not too good at it, but they're great. Or am I good?
You're just fine. I don't understand where you're too critical of your own performance.
Well, I'm not an actor. So.
Well, I know, but I mean, come on.
Well, Larry and Robin Marsh are great, aren't they?
Oh, come on. It's not like any other book on tape you will ever hear.
It's like a comedy album.
Yes, it is.
It's just the excerpts of the book, by the way. You need to, in order to understand the tape, I mean, Sam DeShiz doesn't like me to say this, but you really need to buy the book and then read the book and then listen to the tape, because other than that, it doesn't make any sense. I don't know why they do these books on tape this way. We'd have been happy to record the book, but it's taken a while. But
yeah. Well, I mean, as familiar as I am with the storyline.
They helped write it, so. But, lost characters for me. It's here, Charles, fix this. And the next thing I know, Boom Moses is gone.
Well, what?
I said, what did happen to Boom Moses, Charles?
We don't need him anymore.
We don't need him anymore. Yes, we do. I put it back in the typewriter.
He's on the sofa. Well, where'd the sofa go?
Where'd the sofa come from? Jesus, God, you're an idiot. Hey, did you hear about Reagan?
What happened?
It was Alzheimer's.
Now, stop it.
It's a, minute and a half after the hour. Yeah, what's going on?
I don't know.
Well, you're the news geek.
Oh, you mean in that area, of course. 51 degrees right now, high man. The Imus weather, mostly sunny, windy, and cooler. The high today, 60. Tomorrow, election day, man, it's going to be perfect.
You know, there are 2 times in my life that I've been happy about something. I mean, they have, when the song Fred wrote, I Don't Want to Have to Marry You, became the #1 country song in America, and when he won the Music City News Song of the Year award.
It's a big deal, yeah.
And when Deirdre won, as far as I'm concerned, she won the marathon yesterday.
Well, yeah, she sure was a winner.
When she ran 3:32:09, I was just, I'm not one to jump up and down and scream in public or in private.
No, not at all.
But I can.
Well, like lay down.
I've never been so excited. I just
lie down and pass out.
Plus, I was supposed to punch my watch, and we had Paul Adebush and I. Is that Paul's last name, or is Gloria Adebush her maiden name?
If he's any kind of man, that's his last name as well.
Oh, okay. He's a great guy. I love him. He's one of these 5-minute milers too, But at any rate, we had assiduously punched our clocks so they would be right on with the marathon clock.
Right.
And then I got so excited, and she crossed the line, I forgot to punch it.
You're an idiot.
And I wouldn't have known. If it had been for Jimmy the Wags, I wouldn't have known what time she finished in.
So he punched his.
Except I knew that because I looked up, when I spotted her, the clock was at 3:31 and change, and she crossed in 3:32:09.
It's incredible. It's a great time.
I miss it at morning news time, 3 minutes after the hour.
Forget about it. I mean, Patrick Ewing always talks that if you don't have Oakley, I might as well quit, and I think that's very right. Patrick Ewing needs Charles Oakley, and an ineffective Oakley or Oakley not there is going to mean a lot of trouble for this team.
Yeah, it sure is, Susan. And we might note that tonight they are playing the Atlanta Hawks, and John Minko is going to be doing the play-by-play.
Yes, he absolutely is. Very excited. I'm excited about this. Listen, I might even sit in the booth and listen to Mink.
Wow.
Well, no, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll sit down in my seat.
Okay, you don't want to miss your camera time, Susan. All right, we'll talk to you next weekend.
Okay, Richard. Bye-bye.
Susan Waldman talking Knicks basketball on the Fan. Coming up next, Christopher Mad Dog Russo. And he'll be with you till Notre Dame football time. Fighting Irish are playing Air Force today. And don't mark that down as a W, folks. That's what you were doing with Brigham Young in Boston College. Didn't quite work out, did it? Thanks to Mr. Mike Hayes for popping his head in, and Sue Harrison for doing all the real work. We'll catch you again Friday at 10 o'clock. Have a good one.
Sports Radio, 66. The Fan, WFAN.
The Notre Dame Fighting Irish play their final home game of the season today as they host Air Force. Game time is 1:30, and our coverage starts at 12:40 with the Lou Holt Show here on the Fan. Sports Radio 66, WFAN New York. WFAN 2020 Sports.
Good morning. It's 9 o'clock. I'm Vince DeLisi. Brian Shaw over the midcourt stripe into the forecourt. Out on the right side, it's Bowie. Looking inside for Horace Grant. Kicks it out for Royal. Now to the left side, Shaw. 3 on the way. It's good. Ian Eagle with the call on the Nets radio network. That put the Magic up by 4 in the fourth. Nets lose to the Magic 113-103. Butch Beard says the Magic played the better D.
They turned around and they played good defense, and we ended up, throwing the ball away. We didn't shoot well, and they got the run. It was a good game competitive-wise by both teams because it was a game of runs and the reason why the defense took over.
Knicks were off last night. They host Atlanta tonight at the Garden. We'll have it for you on the Fan. 8:05 the pregame with Susan Waldman. Elsewhere in the NBA, Philadelphia keeps the Clippers winless 97-83. Boston beats Miami 115-111. Milwaukee takes Atlanta to overtime, beats them 97-93. Seattle loses to Indiana 94-87. Phoenix tops Portland 124-111. Utah over Detroit 121-96. And the Lakers squeaked by Cleveland 82-80. Baseball, boxing, and more. That's next. Fan 2020 Sports sponsored by Hyundai.
Time is running out for you to buy America's lowest price new car, the Hyundai Excel. That's right. Starting at just $67.40, the 94 Hyundai Excel is disappearing fast. And you'll never again be able to buy a new one for as low as $67.40. Or for just a few dollars more, you could own the sleek new 1995 Hyundai Elantra. This value-packed car leads the way with standard features like airbag protection, power steering, power brakes, fuel injection, and much, much more. All priced thousands below the competition. So hurry in now to choose your new Hyundai because they're going fast. And when they're gone for good.
Prices MSRP after a limited time $400 factory rebate plus $250 in lieu of no charge service, excluding freight, taxes, title, and options. Dealer prices may vary. Offer ends soon.
Your nearest New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut Hyundai dealer has super deals going on right now. But hurry, time's running out.
WFAN 2020 Sports Time 9:02. Jeremy Burnett's no longer a New York Met. Met shipped the outfielder to the Cleveland Indians for pitchers Dave Mlicky, Jerry DiPoto, Paul Bird, and a minor leaguer to be named later. Joe McIlvaine said the Mets had to beef up the bullpen.
We see the need really at this point in time to beef up our pitching staff. We had the opportunity here to acquire some good young pitchers. And that's what we did in this particular instance.
Labor side of the sport, baseball negotiators spent much of yesterday talking about a new 102-page proposal, including a tax on high-spending teams. Bill Ussery says everyone, though, is making progress.
I would characterize the meetings as constructive. We do not have, obviously, any agreements or any understandings that would be close to a contract or anything, but certainly we are continuing the process and will continue to try to do that to achieve a new collective bargaining agreement.
Hockey's labor talks recess till Monday as the lockout reaches day number 50 today. NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman calls the talks constructive, but refuses to be too optimistic.
I don't want to get into characterizations. I don't know that that's constructive for the process. Obviously, as long as we keep at it, that's a whole lot better than if we weren't talking and we weren't working towards trying to make a deal, which is the goal, I believe, of both sides.
Roy Jones took the International Boxing Federation super middleweight title after earning a unanimous 12-round decision over previously unbeaten James Lights Out Tony. The fight took place in Vegas. Jones pummeled Tony throughout most of the fight, kept him at bay with faster glove and footwork. On the undercard, Oscar De La Hoya retained his WBO lightweight title with a third-round TKO of Carl Griffith. NIT action last night. Ohio University beat Virginia 94-83. New Mexico State surprised Alabama 86-69. It was George Washington with a 62-59 win over Canisius. Lindsay Davenport reached the semis of the Virginia Slims Championship, beating Yana Nevada 6-2 at the Garden. Davenport joins Kamiko Date, Mary Pierce, and Gabriela Sabatini. They'll all be in semifinal action today at the Garden. WFAN wants you to know if you think you can't get AIDS, you can be dead wrong. AIDS is now the leading cause of death among men 25 to 44. For more information on how to stop the spread of AIDS, call 1-800-342-AIDS. Here is the WFAN weather forecast. Mostly sunny and breezy today, high 60 to 65. Clear tonight, low near 40, sunny tomorrow. Clouds in the afternoon, high lower 50, sunny and 55 right now, and that's what's happening. I'm Vince DeLisi with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the flagship station for New York Knicks basketball. Good morning, everybody. How are you today? Christopher Russo on the Fan here on a Saturday morning, a little earlier start. Notre Dame football a little bit later on. Nice to have you with us. Talking about the world of sports. 718-937-6666. Two-way sports talk telephone number. As we talk to you about the world of sports with Sue Harrison and Mike Hayes across the way. Good to have you with us. 718-937-6666. You got Randy Cross and Bill Fitch, believe it or not, a little bit later on today as we chat to them about some things, and we'll have some fun and talk to you. I guess we'll start with the fight. Well, I'll tell you something right now. Roy Jones is something else. That guy is good. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and lie to you.
Later on. Good to have you with us on a Saturday. We're coming back. Don't go away. It has the... Back on a fan. Nice to have you with us. We're here at 12:40 today. Plenty of time to do your thing. You heard Mike Godfrey down first there. A lot of fight talk. We'll get back to that a little bit later on. Bill Fitch, coach of the Clippers, ex-coach of the Nets. They play the Nets tomorrow night. We'll speak to him a little bit later on, too. Julius, 11 o'clock on the fan. We got Bill Fitch coming up sometime between 11 and 12. We're here at 12:40 today, and we'll hear from you a little bit later on. Come on back on Sports Radio 66. Turning on the fan. Been a good show today. Lots of calls. We'll get to you a little bit later on as we chat until about 12:40. 718-937-6666. It's hard to believe that he's got this kind of team back in the NBA. I haven't spoken to him in a long time. The ex-coach of the Nets, coach of the Clippers, if you can believe that. He's Bill.
Radio 66. WFAN New York.
All right. Near 12 with Mike and Montclair, New York.
Shape. She can come back and compete against 90% of those girls on the tour.
You know what's the interesting thing about the banner thing? The only people that have a problem with it who aren't really big tennis fans. I know Ryan thinks the banner should be laid up.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Ryan's got more things to worry about, like the 3 and 6 Nets. Updates all they have to do with the Birdman. I'm looking forward to it. On the fan.
Sports Radio 66. The Fan. WFAN.
Morning program, I soon to be wife, Deidre Coleman. Hi, honey.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. Charles wants to talk to you. Why does he have this ring on?
Because when he gave me my ring, he turned to me and he said, "Now, where's my ring?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, I want to wear a ring, too."
You're misrepresenting what happened, honey, but that's fine.
How am I misrepresenting what happened?
Uh-oh. Well, I mean...
Look, I'd like to know, because...
Wait a minute.
If your radio light sucks in the morning, you're listening to I Miss in the Morning. And also, if we were married, people would be calling you Mr. Coleman already. Anyway, how am I getting this wrong, this story?
Well,
You disagree with what I just said?
No, I agree with everything, honey.
Damn right. Bet you do.
I have to go.
I can't.
I love you very much.
Bye. Pussy.
In the morning on the Fan. Sports Radio 66. WFAN.
WFAN 2020 Sports.
Good afternoon. It's 12 noon. This is Bob Huesler.
Flashback. All right, here now with comment and observation on headline issues of the day. I'm in Washington senior political analyst Richard M. Nixon.
Thank you, and very much, as always, I was in the morning. Well, issue 1, big event time, eh? The I-Man and consort in a command appearance at the White House. Well, you and your baby, as it were. Joining the Clintons at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, I understand. Well, Jesus, I can just hear the suck-up sounds now. Reminiscent of the late John Candy being pulled bodily out of a peat bog, for crying out loud. Shut up. And no, I haven't been invited. Good. And let me just add that I shall neither seek nor shall I accept anybody's invitation to this affair, so that I don't have to personally watch you and Bubber in an orgy of mutual fawning. Issue 2. Great opportunity for the I-Man, nevertheless. Just think, J.D., you can pin the president down on foreign policy matters. You can ask him some things like, I don't know, how about starting off with, can he name the capital of France? Or what's that really long river that runs through Egypt? I hate to be flippant, Dono, but you've got to ask yourself if this hayseed has even the remotest clue about the rest of the world. How are they figuring policy? By playing Stratego? I mean, judging by their performance so far, I have this mental picture of Warren Christopher, William Perry, and that illegal immigrant Shali Kishvili all sitting around arguing over whose spin it is. First it was bomb Bosnia, then don't bomb Bosnia. Then arm the Muslims, then don't arm the Muslims. Then invade Haiti, then don't invade Haiti. Then isolate North Korea, then don't isolate North Korea. Serbian tanks are grinding Garazi into a sausage patty the other day, and where was Bubber? At a car show in North Carolina, playing Mustang Sally, while his bonehead Christopher tries to get peace talks back on track by sternly warning the Serbs, you fellas better stop this genocide silliness, or else I'm going to request an urgent meeting of the UN Security Council. And this time, I'm not kidding. What a travesty. Issue 3. Circumstances require that I cut my remarks somewhat short today. A memo to the Menendez brothers. Dear Lyle and Eric, don't put away that shotgun just yet, boys. There are other households that require your attention. And you can start with the gratuitous parasites who run the Fox television network, it strikes me. The reprobates who brought us Honor Thy Father and Mother. The true story of the Menendez murders. Did you see it? A fitting sequel I hope we will be seeing is the true story of the Fox executive producer and entire creative department murders. Jeez, made Sally Jesse Raphael look like Masterpiece Theater. Thanks, and 6 lashes on the buttocks with a waterlogged bamboo cane for everybody involved. Speaking of that, Dono, I'm out of here, trimming my discourse so that I can head west, get liquored up, put on a Nelson Mandela mask, and drive through downtown L.A. at 190 miles per hour screaming, the police! Largely because I need the money. They're saying Rodney King may soak those suckers for $15 million. I haven't had a shot at that kind of cash since I was in the White House with Agnew. Forget that brat in Singapore. Cane me. And that's the world through a Dick's eye today, John Donald. The eye of Dick Nixon, a former president of the United States, who says, I don't care if we never get along. Cane me. Let me have it. I'm going to sue.
I'm looking at ghosts and empties. For that reason to believe we all will be received in Graceland. There's a girl in New York City who calls herself the human trampoline. Sometimes when I'm falling, flying, or tumbling in turmoil,
now is Paul Simon. Good morning, Paul.
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good.
Do you have a favorite song of yours? Do you have a favorite song and do you have a favorite recording?
My favorite song and my favorite recording is Graceland.
What did you think of the version you and Roy did with Willie Nelson?
I liked it. I told Willie Nelson about that song before I released my album. I said, it's a good story for you, you know. And he said, well, send it over. So I did, and I never heard from him.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the Morning.
Finally, I ran into him, and I said, so like what, nothing, right, on that? He said, no, great. Anytime you got another tune, anything you want to send me, send it.
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
There's 60 Minutes. Do you know about the story, Fred?
Well, just from listening to what you said, of course, I can't get the show, so I don't know much what's going on.
All right, well, Mike Wallace, this woman, Karen Haller, who had gone to Wallace's office a couple of weeks ago to help him with a story that she'd covered, they secretly taped her.
He should have his cut off.
Jesus! What's happening here today? Get him off the phone.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the Morning.
Fred, I mean, you got to use some sense here.
Do you hear about...
I don't want to hear about it.
Tanya Harding and Michael Jackson bought Aqueduct. She's going to do the handicapping, and he's going to ride the 3-year-olds.
Fred will be on this morning, unfortunately.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Coming up from Santa Fe, New Mexico this morning, Fred Imus, the Autobot Express. And we're going to be on the Today Show at, a little after 7:30 Eastern Time. Cool. So if you're on the West Coast, I don't know how it'll work. That's weird, isn't it? This is my man Delbert McClinton. Sing a song, son.
Prediction show, steady low. You're feeling just the same. But seasons come and seasons go. I'll make you smile again. If you don't believe.
And now we'll talk to Deidre Coleman. If he answers the phone. Okay.
Hello.
Hi, honey. I was just explaining how I walked into the one room of the suite there in Washington, and you were eating a Snickers bar the size of a baseball bat, weren't you?
What about the 4 hot dogs you ate at the U.S. Open? Well, and you made it sound like I ate a hot dog. I would eat cement before I'd eat a hot dog.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the Morning.
You do this all the time. Also, last night I'm trying to tell you a story. How many times you either ignore me, change the subject, or just tell me to shut up?
Honey, I've never told you to shut up, and frankly, I've heard the 3 Bears a million times, so...
You're a jerk.
Bingo!
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Force rolls on. To give to Foster, and he's on his feet at the 5, and he's into the end zone. Barry Foster for the touchdown run of 10 yards. Off the right side, cut it back. Mike Breen, obviously not prepared. No, I mean, this is just because you flew all night.
John is in the basement mixing up the medicine. I'm on the pavement thinking about the government. A man in a trench coat, bad job laid off, says he's got a bad cough, wants to get it paid off. Look out, kid, it's something you did. God knows when, but you're doing it again. You better duck down the alleyway, looking for a new friend. A man in a coonskin cap in a pig pen wants $11 bills. You only got 10.
Imus in the morning.
Veteran Walter Cronkite.
An interesting parallel between the seismic event we've all just witnessed, the earthquake in the Oval Office, and some distinct rumblings in my old alma mater, the CBS Evening News, with Dan Rather and Connie Chung. Yeah. Just as Democrats failed to read the signs of impending doom, CBS may be missing signals of an approaching disaster. For there could have been no misreading of Dan Rather's role covering the election. He was the field commander. Indeed, the person who was ostensibly his co-equal, the rapidly aging China woman, Ms. Chung, got shunted aside side in a role almost as ancillary as Hillary Clinton's has become. Little more than an end table used to balance a seating arrangement in a living room. CBS executives deny it, but word of the web is that Miss Chung was not amused. The latest in a series of assignment disputes between Rather and Chung that are growing increasingly ugly. Deny they may, but the perky Oriental did sit well to Rather's right, arching her eyebrows importantly, panting for attention like the last of a litter being ignored by the top dog.
That'll be fine.
As for Dan, whenever the program's format compelled him to turn to Miss Chung for a comment, his teeth clenched and his eyes narrowed as though he just opened the lid on an order of soured sushi. To be sure, the public persona of these two during the course of their ongoing experiment in sexually correct anchoring has been outwardly sunny. But it's just as clear that behind the scenes, Dan and Connie could probably teach O.J. and Nicole a thing or two. Asked about her also-ran assignment of election night, Miss Chung is quoted as having said, and curtly, Dan has always done election night coverage, and I have always done exit polling. Oh, that she would. If all involved would listen to the counsel of this time-worn reporter, my suggestions would be these. Dan, it can't last much longer. Relax. You must stop looking as though you just had a colonoscope with a refrigerated eel every time Connie pipes up with some inane observation. And Miss Chung, co-anchoring is not for you. Get out. Have you thought about playing Steven Seagal's mother in a kung fu movie, maybe? Or if that's too far afield, you might begin to transition to something else by co-anchoring Pat O'Brien's next coverage of triple toe-looping gerbil chasers on international ice wars. Oh, and by the way, nice assignment, Pat. Dan Rather covers the collapse of the Democratic Party. You're at a hockey rink with the invasion of the gender snatchers. Just great. For Media Watch, this is Walter Cronkite. Thank you and good night. Hello.
Here we go, both. I am Imus in the morning.
Football on, wants to be the guy. He's not going to get back into football to back somebody up. And I don't know. I mean, Bill has got to look at himself in the mirror. He's doing the ESPN stuff this year, and I think that's going fairly well for him, and he may decide that's the way to go in the future. I don't know if he's going to get back into football, but if he does, it'll be as the guy, the number one guy. Bob Usler coming up. I'm Ed Coleman. Thanks to Lisa, and thanks to Sweeney, and to Ray Sherman and Billy Taylor. Catch you on the other side of the Knicks, folks.
Sports Radio 66. WFAN.
What's your...
The following is another in a series of famed political resurrections by millionaire industrialist H. Ross Perot.
Amos, somebody just doesn't get it. Message November 8th could not have been more plain if it had been delivered by the cold nose of a Cocker Spaniel planted right in the middle of your plumber's crack. This society is sick of the loss of decency in the U.S. of A. And you know who don't get it? You don't. Just read your book, Amos. Couldn't believe it. Had to go over it 6 or 7 times. Got under the hood, stuck an emissions probe, clean up the tailpipe, and I'm sorry, but I made the only kind of conclusion I could, Amos. You're a f***ing world-class pre-bird. What I want to know is, when you were writing this thing, what sort of inner voice was speaking to you? A barking dog? Your muse actually told you to have somebody slam his Mr. Happy in a desk drawer and fly across the room like a mutilated meat missile? Well, that's just sad, Amos. Right in the middle of this historic U-turn toward morality and virtue, we come up with a book that looks like it was written by either a disgruntled postal worker or Joey Buttafuoco. 319 pages of festering phallus filth. Did you read page 91 and 92? Are you proud of that? First of all, as Perot sees it, we got a nation full of hypocrites because they voted for this big return to piety, and then the only giant sucking sound we got going right now is people draining every bookstore in America of God's other son. Filth, Amos. Filth and rot. Although I must say, I did get a chub. I grew up in Texas, spent a lot of time in diners, ate me a lot of chicken, fried steak, and chili. And I never once had a blousy blonde with hooters the size of Houston come out from behind the counter and snap my pecker. Not once. It's just sad. Now then, let's move on. Here's all you need to know to get a handle on what happened in the midterm elections. Exit Mario Cuomo, enter Sonny Bono. Out there just about says it all, don't it? Just that simple.
Yeah.
Not to overlook, of course, the fact we also have a lunatic from Crotch Powder, Georgia, with a bad case of Third Reich rhetoric, who looks like one of those Vietnamese pot-bellied pigs, who is all of a sudden nothing short of the co-president of the United States. And on the other side, no better. We still got a guy who's attached at the hip to the National Organization of Women on the one hand, takes out personal ads in swingers magazines on the other, still thinks it's 1964 instead of 1994 and needs a bra. And you think that I might not be running in 96? I'll be running harder than an undocumented alien who's just got poked out with a stick from under Pete Wilson's bed, Amos. So here's your soundbite. If you're upset with Bubba's big election loss, screw America, make your contract with Ross. Thank you, Amos, and much obliged for having me on your show.
I want to grow up to be just like Jesus and never have to work. Just travel around from town to town, wherever evil lurks. Cross the Holy Land with rod in hand and sandals on my feet. But I'll stop a while and I'll share a smile with everyone I meet. Amos in the morning.
Hey, Bubba, come on. You're missing the parade.
I'll be there in a minute, Beavis.
What are you doing?
I'm pausing to reflect on all my many blessings, Beavis, and give thanks for them. Don't you have anything to be thankful for?
No.
Everybody's got something to be thankful for.
Okay. I'm like thankful for Megadeth and M80s and those chicks from Baywatch.
I'm thankful for them, too.
What else do you have to be thankful for, Bubba?
So many things. Good health, wonderful family, living in a great country, a big fat turkey. But most of all, I'm thankful that Hillary's decided to step down and not interfere with my administration anymore.
Cool. How come she's going to do that?
I guess she figures I have enough trouble on my hands with Newt Gingrich.
Who?
A big fat turkey.
You're thankful for him?
In a way. See, if over the next 2 years things don't get any better, or if hopefully they get worse, then there'll be somebody else accountable, and I'll be off the hook when I run for re-election.
Yeah. Blame it on Newt.
Thank you, Lord, for a Republican Congress and for finally shutting Hillary up.
Hey, look, it's the goofy balloon.
No, Beavis, that's Newt Gingrich. He sucks.
Beavis and Bubba here in the Iverson Morning Program, 27:29 after the hour. This is a startling column from Jack Newton. Rolls on. Here's the boot. Kennedy. Fresh Dummies.
Once there was this guy who got a little drunk and thought his car was a canoe, but when it went into the water, he saw fishes in his rearview mirror. He never burned his bridges, he'd only just drive off them. Once there was this guy who was elected president but didn't have a clue. A woman said in a hotel room he was there with his pants round his ankles. She didn't really like when he said she made his knees knock. But both boys are Democrats. There's nothing worse than that. Except this other guy who went on Larry King and told the country what to do. He said that he could do much better. His ears were just like satellite dishes. He said it made it easy to hear the folks on Pluto.
back to the Broncos, and Elway scored.
And how big a game is that going to be for Atlanta's playoff fortunes down the road? 6-5 in the NFC, much different than 5-6.
Absolutely. That could cost Atlanta a playoff spot, that loss.
Yep. Coming back after we do Make It the Top. You too.
Mike and the Mad Dog, Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Mike and I will see you tomorrow at 1. Eddie coming up until 9. Enjoy your Tuesday on the Fan. Adios.
Flagship station for New York Knicks basketball. Good evening, everyone. It's 6:04 on the Fan. Ed Coleman here with you right up until 9 o'clock tonight. Susan Wallman come your way at that time as we've got 6 hours right straight through till Captain Midnight's Steve Summers at midnight tonight. I'll throw a few things out on the table here. It's a slow day in sports. Knicks are off until Saturday. The Nets hitting the road out in Seattle. They'll take on the Supersonics. First of 4 on the road.
Thanks, Fred.
You know, Martin, they say there's only 2 things you can count on in life, death and taxes. Could you please mull that over?
Well, you can't count on taxes, Fred. New Hampshire has no state taxes at all.
Oh, well, what about death?
What about Elvis?
Got me there. Well, I guess there's nothing you can count on.
Wrong, Fred. You can always count on a clean, comfortable room at a great price when you hit the roof.
The paper I read says Elvis is living in New Hampshire.
Red Roof Inns. Call 1-800-THE-ROOF or your travel agent.
If you think all vitamin C's are the same, you need to know about Natrol Ester C. It takes effect faster, delivers more vitamin C where it's needed, and stays there longer. I'm Dr. Ronald Hoffman, physician and nutritionist. Natrol Ester C is the most bioavailable form of vitamin C, yet it won't upset your stomach because it's non-acidic. Natrol Ester C, I recommend it to my patients.
At Eckerd, Revco, Osco, GNC, and all fine health food stores. Natrol Ester C.
No one is show busier than Entertainment Tonight. Hi, this is John Tesh in Hollywood. And on our next show, we get a chance to hop into bed with supermodel Claudia Schiffer. More dirt on Princess Di as another tell-all hits the bookstores. And join us behind the scenes as photography legend Richard Avedon shoots beautiful models for the most sought-after calendar in the world. Then, will Judge Lance Ito allow cameras in the courtroom? We'll tell you what we know all in the next Entertainment Tonight.
It's 7:30 tonight on New York's Channel 2.
It's been called the wonder drug of the 90s. But would you give Prozac to your pet?
He was very much like Jekyll and Hyde.
Tonight, if your pup is hard to handle, find out how this controversial treatment could help calm your best friend. What soothes people might be used to soothe the savage beast. Dr. Peter Salgo shows you how far some owners will go to change their dog's behavior.
We are really seeing results. He's much calmer.
Because you love your dog, watch Pets on Prozac tonight at 11 on Channel 2 News.
The true story of a 4-year-old girl named Stephanie and her parents, Michael and Phyllis Pank.
We went up to her crib and she was asleep, and we took pots and pans and banged them together, and Stephanie never woke up. So
she never even flinched.
Never flinched. At 13 months, our youngest daughter, Stephanie, was diagnosed as profoundly deaf. Now she's taking speech therapy lessons.
But she needed to take them over the summer or she would regress.
We didn't expect much, but the case manager of Blue Cross Blue Shield approved Stephanie's speech therapy.
Nobody gives you more choices of doctors, specialists, and hospitals than HMO Blue of New Jersey. With more comprehensive coverage, more peace of mind when you travel, and coming soon, more choice and convenience for your health care itself with our new Blue Cross Blue Shield Health.